Hi to everyone. This is Alex from LCI Barcelona, and I want to present you the OER we have developed that is named Car Toolkit with Innovative Sustainable Design Strategies. This OER at the end wants to provide a methodology to develop, to put into practice a design process that has this sustainable point of view when applying advanced textiles in products. When in every design process, when we are designing a process, it's important to follow a really well organized methodology that allows to introduce aspects from many different sides, from the user, the market, production, functionality, and of course the environmental impact that this product has. This, when applying advanced textiles that are really complicated materials with a lot of great properties, this process can be even more complex, no? Because these extra properties that the materials have sometimes add more complexity to the product itself, and this in general involves a worse environmental impact, or at least a more complicated waste management when this product reaches its end of life. This methodology that we are presenting in this OER is divided in 4 stages, similar to the ones that the Design Council uses in the double diamond, that are discover, define, develop, and deliver. And here for this methodology we propose, analyze, conceptualize, and rationalize in order to adapt them a little bit better to the aspects we want to include in this methodology. The goal of this methodology at the end, the primary one, is to bring this standard, easy to follow methodology that allows to apply these advanced materials, these advanced textiles, into products while taking into account the environmental impact and the aspects related to sustainability. As we were saying before, to design a product can be a complicated and long process that also involves a lot of people from really different profiles. And when applying innovative materials like advanced textiles, this complexity is even bigger because we sometimes need to ask people from technical or scientific backgrounds to be part of the project. That's why it's really important to bring into the team these different profiles, these different points of view that share clear outcomes and agree the structure of the process that is going to be followed. Because when sharing and agreeing this methodology works much better. When applying this kind of materials, it's obviously really important to make a deep initial research that allows to have clear expectations about what is going to be achieved. And of course, also a good organization when you are working with different profiles and big teams is also really important. The secondary goal is to try to normalize as much as possible the introduction of eco-design strategies in the design process. They should be part of every design process that is developed in this period, because clients want to and the market is asking for them. And we want this toolbox, these strategies, to be part of the normal criteria of design process. As we were saying before, again, these kind of materials can have, not necessarily, but in general, they involve bigger environmental impacts because of their complexity, and this makes the introduction of eco-design strategies even more important than in other cases. In terms of the learning outcomes that you are going to get with this OER, obviously in terms of knowledge, what you are going to get basically is a good understanding of the stages of the design process, no? With this focus in the application of advanced textiles and under sustainability criteria. and also to practice and to learn about the most common eco-design strategies that you can find. There are more, but these are probably the main ones and the more easily applied to the advanced textile sector. In terms of skills, you will use concepts, procedures, and methods to put into practice this well-organized design process, and to get, of course, with the goal of obtaining a successful result. You will have the ability to decide, obviously with criteria, which sustainable design strategies are most coherent with the project that you are developing, and to look for the best application for them. You will practice also the skills to test and prototype the project in its different stages to assure that you are moving forward in the correct way. You will develop also and put into practice the necessary level of empathy with users that will allow you to bring solutions that are really useful for them. You will be able to analyze this complex reality that we have before starting a design process. And this complex reality involves suppliers, users, materials, and identifies the critical aspects that the project needs to solve. And in terms of competencies, you will learn how to transfer doing and thinking from one discipline to another to foster this cross-disciplinary cooperation between different profiles. And you will develop a good level of communication with people from different profiles in order to reach this perfect, good result in the design process. Here starts the OER itself. This is the first stage, and at the end what we do here is to explain that when designing it's really important to follow a well-organized methodology with clear expectations, resources, and results. Also, to follow this methodology is really helpful to improve the communication between the team and the different stakeholders that participate in the project. And it has important benefits, especially when participating in innovative projects like the ones who, in general, involve advanced textiles. So at the end, these are the three main benefits of following a design project like this. The first one is that it sets clear expectations in every stage and at the end of the project. It puts clients at ease, and it decreases the risk of failure, something also really important because when designing we don't know for sure that we are going to achieve the result we want, so we minimize risks following a methodology like this one. In terms of how to organize this activity needs a team. Is designed to be done by teams, small teams, and it's because of the negotiation and the discussion between the different actors that participate in a project like this and reach the final result that you will get from it. We recommend to make it in teams between 3 or 5 members. So if you have more people, probably it's going to be positive to create like more teams. Mixing as much as possible different profiles, such as technical profiles like engineers, creative ones like designers, for example, business profiles like marketing experts or people from the business area of the company or the organization, and market researchers like the ones who, for example, come from the social sciences field, like, for example, an anthropologist, for example. With the combination of these four profiles, you can respond to any important aspect that you will have to take into account in the project. Of course, not in every organization you have these 4 profiles. For example, anthropologists are in general not part of companies, or if you are working or developing this design process in a university, you will only have 1 profile, probably only designers, only engineers, or only business people. In case it's not possible to include these different profiles in the team, try at least to think as they would think. to try to introduce their criteria in the design process, because these criteria are going to be essential to get a successful product that is applying the advanced textiles in a proper way. In terms of materials, you don't need any special materials to develop this activity. Basically, a room with enough space, big enough tables to work, and some materials to write, to draw, like papers, pencils, or markers, post-its, or whatever. We recommend you to print the eco-design cards included in this document and to cut them and give them to the participants, because this will facilitate a little bit the discussion, but you can also work with the digital version of them included in this PDF. In terms of timings, this methodology is divided in 4 stages, as we said before. So at the end, I mean, you can make the activity as long as you want, but we recommend between half an hour and 1 hour for every stage. In terms of the activity, you need to start with introduction. You need to explain how this product, what the characteristics of this product in terms of the user, the market, its main components, functionality, everything. You need to make the groups and explain the dynamics of the session. And then we start with the design process with this first stage that is called analyze. To make this stage, you basically need to answer these questions that you can find here from the functional needs that this product has to cover, the emotional ones, how it's going to be produced, by who, the business model behind it, the system behind it, and which steps does the user experience follow. Once this is debated and written, you need to write the results of every stage in a paper. You can jump to the next stage. That is probably the most creative one, or one of the 2 most creative ones of this design process. This stage is called propose, and here what you have to do is to introduce eco-design strategies after having understood really well the characteristics of the project that you are studying or proposing solutions for. These strategies are divided between the different stages of the life cycle, and well, they are 6 different kinds of cards: pre-production, material selection, manufacturing, distribution, use, and end of life. Of course, not every strategy works for everything. It's the criteria of the participants, the one who needs to help them to decide which strategy is going to be the most useful. Here you can see some strategies from the production phase, for example, anti-obsolescence, dematerialization, modularity. From the material selection phase, so when choosing materials, you can use these strategies to choose a biodegradable material, a lightweight one, a locally produced one, low-embodied energy materials that have a low carbon footprint, materials that are reclaimed or recycled, that are recyclable, that don't have any paints or lacks of other surface treatments, that come from renewable sources, that are products that are only one material, that come from certified labels, for example. From the manufacturing phase, you can use low energy manufacturing production processes. You can reduce production waste. From the use phase, you can encourage recycling, you can improve functionality, you can improve ergonomics. And here in every one of these cards, you have a short explanation that helps you to understand a little bit what are going to improve using this strategy. You can propose to hire rather than to own the product, customization, ease of repair. From the distribution phase, you can also include products that are designed for assembly, that are tools for education and communication, that reduce packaging. From the end of life, products that are easy to disassembly, that have compatibility of materials for disposal, material labelings, and product take back. Once you have chosen a small set of these sustainable design cards,